Hey guys, Civilord here, back again with another edition of the monthly channel update, this time for the month of December 2022. And before I get into the meat and taters of this video, first and foremost, how was everyone's Christmas or holiday? If you don't celebrate Christmas, let me know in the comments below. Let's talk about it, because for me personally, really good. However, while I do appreciate and love all of the presents I received, most of them aren't eligible for any top 10 lists for this calendar year. In fact, most of them aren't eligible for top 10 lists for 10 years ago. So I'm trying to play catch up as per the usual. So the month of January will not only consist of review bombardment, but super late top 10 videos, which I might just hold off and do them at the end of the month all in one week. If you guys are down for that, let me know, because I got a lot of catching up to do. Excuse me. Starting off with what we have sitting in front of us, Masterverse, which I'm pretty much caught up with, other than 3 pieces I wouldn't mind picking up before I do that top 10 list. I definitely am content with most of the Masterverse I have on my top 10 list, so expect a Masterverse top 10 at the very least, outside of the usual, top 10 overall and top 10 legends and top 10 multiverse, which that one is actually kind of picking at my brain a little bit because, well, there's a certain Walmart exclusive that eludes me still and is starting to grind on my gears a little bit. Zero Batman. And for whatever reason, the toy guys just don't want your boy to have that figure. And I have told Evil Villain this so far. I flat up refuse to do a top 10 figures of the year or multiverse video without it. Because I know darn well the second I get those done and recorded and uploaded, guess what's going to fall right into my lap, on my crotch, and potentially crush one of my balls. Yeah, so kind of why I think I'm going to wait and do all my top 10s at the end of January. I know it's late, but you guys seem to enjoy them regardless, so thanks for, sticking around and being patient with me. But then again, there are no ads at the beginning of these videos, so I don't have any other income to support my hobby other than what I get outside of, well, what I get, period. So, with that being said, for the probably 50th time now, my buddy Just Monesto too likes to keep track of that stuff. I'm glad somebody has time for that crap. That said, we also have the Spawn top 10 to do. Missing quite a few pieces for that. So hopefully we'll get around to that. Mythic Legions pretty much got them all. I don't think Krotos from the Alithia wave is going to dethrone anybody on my top 10 list for that line. So we're set there. We're pretty much set with Masterverse. I think we're pretty much set with Origins because I'm not going to lie, and this goes for Masterverse as well, I'm only counting up until I think the Whiplash wave for Origins, because Cobra Khan and Ratlore, at least my pre-orders, they weren't supposed to be out till next month. I had to can them because thanks a lot, 4 Horsemen. We're going to get into that. But that wave I'm not going to count because normally that would be in Malaysia this time of year and not over here. They just happen to show up a little bit early. Granted, there are 3 pieces I do really want in that wave, the Snake Armor, He-Man, Ratlore, and Cobra Khan. But I have Camo Khan, and really, if I get the 2000X He-Man, that'll be good enough for me for right now. The only contender for my top 10 list would have probably been Ratlore, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. So I could probably do without those for right now. My King Hiss did come in, though. But I think I am going to count him as a 2023 release as well. Because he came in the last 2 weeks of the year. Much like that large wave of Masterverse, which had like the 2 movie figures and like 5 regular figures. That's a lot. We're talking like Marvel Legends status, and 2 of those are like over $30. Granted, I do want the Roboto, the Man-E-Faces, and the Stratos the most. I think if anything was going to be eligible for my top 10 Masterverse, it would be those. But I'm going to count those as 2023 as well, because they literally came out the last week of the year. I mean, my good buddy T-Biz got them. He didn't get them until this past week. I'm not going to count those. That's way too late. However, as far as Marvel Legends goes, my Ghost Rider came in, and that came in well over 2 weeks ago, and people have had that for like 2 months now. I'm going to count that because that's not some weird BS like the Origins where the foreign cards came in around Halloween and the English cards didn't come out now. So he's more than eligible. Same with the Shadow of Spawn that I took a look at last week. Thanks Aunt Tammy again for that. He's been out for a couple of months now as well. So if it came out between October and November and like the first half of December, I'm going to put it on my list. If it came out later than that, and you know what? Tough crap. I had Mythic Legions to buy, which leads me to the next part of this video. Necronomicon. I did my pre-order, got my pre-order in. Probably not going to see it until 2024 or 5 because, well, they still want to push this fantastical pandemic down our throats and make it seem like it's a bigger problem than it probably is. Sorry, I don't like to talk about that stuff, but at this point, I've had it up to here with that crap, dude. Like, can we please move on to another problem? Like, I don't know, not getting nuked? I'm just saying, but yeah. But for right now, I did watch the previous episode of Four Horsemen O'Clock, which I highly suggest you do because my boy Chris Garwich, I don't know. He goes by William Smithsonian on Facebook, so I'm probably going to go with that. But good old Chris dropped some knowledge the other day. We are getting another troll head for our, I think, ice trolls. So that's cool. I'm probably going to wind up making an update video for my troll review because I'm a dingus. I didn't ask Jeremy Gerard this before I filmed the video, but the Brontis alternate Cyclops head will come with that chain collar piece. So those of you who bought that figure and are like, where is it? It's coming with the extra head. The Ice Troll's not going to have that, however, which is fine because he's not supposed to. He's not an arena troll. But he will get a Forest Troll head in the Ice Troll colors. So all 4 heads will be available with those figures. That's pretty cool. No pun intended. Okay, maybe a little bit. That said, I was perfectly content with getting a bearded head, but now that we're getting the Forest Troll head as well, I'm definitely going to do an update video because that is a surprise to me. I didn't know that before this past Wednesday, so thank you for Horseman Factory for screwing up again and giving us a free head. So no head. Either way, other than that, the Mythic Legions All-Stars 5 Plus got pushed up to, hopefully, fingers crossed, shipping before the Chinese New Year, along with the War of the Aetherblade Vigigame figures. So I will hopefully have some Mythic Legions to look at come March or April. Very much looking forward to those, though, because I got my Red Krampus in. I'm going to be using that as custom fodder to make a custom Satan figure, or a devil, whatever you want to call it, because there is an alternate demon head in the head pack for All-Stars 5 Plus, which I did actually buy. I don't buy a lot of accessory sets for Mythic Legions, but that one I had to because it came with a really sick Screamin' Vampire head and that red demon head. And the Bog Goblin head in green with the open mouth and the interchangeable tongues and the helmet. Definitely some pieces in that head pack I plan on using 110%. That's pretty freaking sick. So yeah, looking forward to that. Hopefully those ship before the Chinese New Year. After that, it looks like Cosmic Legions Wave 1 is shipping after that, the Chinese New Year. And then we should be getting pretty close to Poxus Cosmic 2. And then I guess Necronominus, unless they do some, I don't know, another Trolls wave or another Figura Obscura or another All-Stars wave, which 6 Plus is supposed to have some more Necronominus and Aetheron characters in it, so probably going to go pretty hard on that. That said, that's kind of it. As far as my pre-orders go, my Animal Warriors of the Kingdom, still waiting on those. A little bummed they didn't come before the end of the year because that Fane figure probably would have been top 5 because I love my monkey dudes And that one is no exception. That one looks pretty sick, and just a little bit unfortunate that the factory had a couple of issues, and again, the freaking pandemic that just seems to be that ex-wife that keeps wanting money even though she hasn't done crap to deserve it. That's just what it is to me at this point. It just won't go away, and it can F off as far as I'm concerned, because I'd like to get things back to normal, maybe? Question mark? I don't know. I mean, it only cost me literally my whole life, so, you know. Yeah, a little bummed about that, but hopefully those will show up before Chinese New Year, CNY, as they call it in the trade. And then my BBTS pile of loot, very small. It's got the replacement Frankenstein Mega figure in it, which I guess still isn't broken. Whatever, I don't care. His freaking arm falls off. It's broke to me. And then it also has my Ghost Rider, which I'm probably going to ship that sucker in the next week or so. Time will tell. And then it's got Star Wars Black Series Aayla Secura, which I don't think anyone cares because I don't do Star Wars content on this channel anymore because, well, it got pretty bad traffic, so kind of just omitted it completely, even though there are some really solid Star Wars releases from this past year. That Aayla Secura, actually. And I just got the Walmart exclusive Mace Windu from the Clone Wars miniseries. That's a really solid figure. The Bill Burr figures, of course, because if you don't like Bill Burr, you suck. What else? We got the rest of the, whatchamacallits, the Bad Batch. Those are really solid. We got some more Mando characters, and we got a bunch of boring crap from Andor. So if you're one of the people who likes that show, more power to you, but I fell asleep during it. That said, no NECA Warduke or Grimsword, because NECA is too busy giving us flippin' Xenomorphs and Predators that we don't need. Same with my Gargoyles. There's that. If you guys want to know what the most disappointing thing of the year is that frickin' stupid Gargoyles line. What the heck? No Hudson anywhere. Been looking for him for like 3 months. Can't find him. Can find him online, but can't find him in the frickin' store. They just got Demonas, and more Demonas. Probably all with wings that can't hold up worth the crap. Can't find Bronx for Evil Villain. I'm probably just going to have to buy that online too because I owe him for that Iron Man. I'm totally okay with doing that, but I am going to be getting him a small box here, and I could have just threw it in that, but either way, it ain't going to cost me any more to ship it. I just would have liked to have filled the box, because you guys know me, in trade boxes, I like to stuff the Sons of Monkeys like an Easter basket until they're bursting at the seams. But yeah, that's like the biggest disappointment of the year for me. NECA Gargoyles, and the lack thereof. Like, Thailog was loose in a couple of areas. That's fine, whatever. That wasn't that bad. I could fix that. Demona's wings sucked. And then Bronx is really solid, but it's just a dog. And Brooklyn didn't come out. And neither did Broadway, or Coldstone, or anybody for that matter. Just Hudson, you know, if your target actually had him. And then the NECA Splinter is starting to come out for the Universal Monsters line. Kind of a meh figure. I mean, I'm going to pick it up, obviously. I am a completionist with that line. But, not the most interesting in the lot, I will say. That said, I think we're going to see some better figures in 2023 with the Phantom of the Opera, Casey Jones, and the Dracula Shredder. So I'm looking forward to those. Speaking of NECA, though, the Universal Monsters line is freaking on point, dude. I love the Frankenstein and Wolfman. I got those for Christmas. I had to lube up Wolfman's hips, but if my criteria wasn't set in stone where I had to review the figure before I did the top 10 list, I think I'd stick that Wolfman on mine, because he's a really, really awesome figure. I really like him a lot. Even though he's a little tricky to stand without the little base, with the little base he stands up just fine. And since I've lubed up his hips, he is no problem whatsoever. And speaking of things I got for Christmas this year that surpassed my expectations, this Marvel Legends Gore I have sitting off cam here is pretty freaking sick, dude. Unfortunately, I think he's sold out on Amazon right now, but hopefully it goes back up. But if you want some more Cosmic and or Thor villains for your Legends shelf, that's a really solid addition. And in all honesty, it's the Sleepwalker figure we should have got in the first place, because he's got the perfect body for it, and his head sculpt is pretty close to Sleepwalker's. And he's not as gummy. He's a little bit gummy, but definitely not as bad as some of the legends we've looked at this year. So take that for what you will. But trying to think, is that about it? Yeah, I think that's about it. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this month's edition of the monthly channel update, the last one for 2022. We're probably going to do one more of these to kind of wrap up the monthly channel update series on this channel. I just don't see the point. I talk enough in my reviews about stuff going on outside of reviews, so I think I can pretty much omit these types of videos. They don't get the most traffic. They're fun, they're whatever, but less crap for me to do, I guess. That said, top 10 videos probably coming at the end of January. I'm going to go ham trying to get reviews done. I finally actually got the DC Multiverse Grifter figure coming. It hasn't arrived as the time I'm recording this. It's, I think, running a day late or so, because it's not that Christmas shipping rush anymore. So it's a little bit slower than it would have been. And I also have the Spider-Man Noir, my replacement, coming as well. Hopefully, fingers crossed. I'm going to cross all 8 fingers and both thumbs in hopes that I get it this time and not a stupid Power Rangers glove, because somebody is, well, I guess more visually impaired than I am and can't tell the difference between a hand and a black Spider-Man figure. I mean, what am I supposed to do with that? I mean, really. That said, other than that, I think that's about gonna do it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're so inclined, please don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you know whenever I upload more content to the channel. Got plenty coming your way. Sorry, I'm a little bit haphazard in this video because, well, there's not a whole lot to talk about other than, you know, upcoming top 10 videos, which I might change the criteria and omit December releases, because that's kind of not fair to figures that we've had for the bulk of the year. I mean, you know, the Spawn and the Ghost Rider clearly came out in November. A lot of people had those, so that is what it is. But, you know, the Father Christmas Figura Obscura, the Naughty or Nice Zombie Santa Claus, which I also found out Chris from Four Horsemen works on that line too. He's got his hand in a lot of things and a lot of projects, which is kind of awesome. He's like the, I don't know what you want to call it. I don't want to say the Todd McFarlane, but freaking, he's got his hat in a lot of places, and he seems to be the go-to guy for production, and that's pretty sweet. And I mean, the guy is something else. I mean, his energy, his enthusiasm is just on point, and very much welcomed in a time of despair. So, with that being said, if you haven't already, please hit me up on Instagram at Overlord Productions. But as always, keep the comments civil, because the world sucks enough as it is, especially when I don't have that Azrael Batman yet, and the everlasting pandemic won't cease to stop being a pain in our butts and delaying everything we love and just being a total jerk face. And until next time, I'll catch you guys later. Hopefully with a much better attitude. And reviews of most of these Masterverse figures. We already looked at 40th He-Man. He doesn't need a video telling y'all how good he is. I mean, I think it's good, but some people may disagree. But yeah, I've gone on long enough, so I'll shut up now. Laters!